The legal and PR battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively continues. And it looks like Justin Baldoni is coming out on top. He came out with the receipts. He just dropped the most insane bombshell footage from behind the scenes of filming It Ends With Us. I did not expect this to be available to the public. Not only for legal reasons, I assumed that the studio wouldn't want this footage out there for public viewing, but also because of Blake Lively's confidence when she filed her lawsuit against Baldoni. She didn't expect any of this footage to come out either. She wrote these dramatic narratives of her interactions with Justin Baldoni, expecting people to just believe what she wrote with her lawyers. And now that is being blown out of the water. This is specifically refuting one of Lively's claims that in the middle of shooting a slow-mo romance sequence, Justin Baldoni dragged his lips across her neck and said, "It smells so good," in a really creepy way.
You know how they say that some of the most insufferable work to do is comedy because it's like everyone's miserable because you have to pretend you have like nobody in the set is actually laughing because the joke has to land in post-production, not on set. And I imagine that doing scenes like this are worse.
Well, they're
fake romance.
They're filming this scene so it can end up in a montage of their two characters falling in love. So they're just kind of talking back and forth randomly to get the footage done. And among Blake Lively's accusations, one was about alleged misconduct during the filming of this sequence when their characters are falling in love. In Blake Lively's lawsuit, she alleged that Justin Baldoni, quote, leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good," like a Joe Biden moment. Justin Baldoni's team released 3 takes from their slow-mo sequence, which they said was the entirety of the footage they shot for that scene. Both actors are clearly behaving well within the scope of the scene and with mutual respect and professionalism, unlike what Blake Lively claimed, which is that this had nothing to do with what was taking place in the script. So let's
I guess she could have been more mad if he was like, "It smells bad."
Right? Like, I guess that would have made her even angrier. But here's the footage, unedited, of what actually happened. Okay. And you can see Justin Baldoni was doing something perfectly normal and well received by Blake Lively in the moment.
All right, here we go.
Probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that.
She said, what did she say? I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
Right.
That's what she said. Okay,
yeah.
let's start it from scratch here.
Probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup. Probably getting.
So then he tries to go in for a kiss, and she kind of resists it.
I mean, it looks exactly like the type of thing that they would show in a slow motion scene there of him leaning in and her smiling. Looks perfectly on par. It actually looks like they're both actually very good at their jobs, which is to have this incredibly awkward conversation while mimicking something that's supposed to look heartfelt and romantic when it's finished in post-production.
And for full context, at the beginning of that part of the reel, you can hear Justin Baldoni say, "I'm getting my beard on you." That's why she says, "I'm getting spray tan on you."
We had a 20 here. John Bastille.
I'm not seeing it.
Says, been watching you guys for a few years now, even when I was in Lithuania.
Oh.
Keep up the great work. Glad I could finally send some support. Thanks for being the best background noise. Hashtag, or no, he didn't say hashtag, but crisis party with a question mark. Well, we're getting there. I put in big letters, crisis party, question mark. Thank you, John.
We are going to get a crisis.
Especially with support coming from Lithuania.
There was another clip where Blake Lively tells Justin Baldoni that he needs a nose job. This woman.
This is just catty mean girl.
This woman is such a mean girl.
To the max. Here we go.
I feel so nosy.
I know.
I noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
Cut.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
She threw the just kidding in there to
I'm sorry, that is so bitchy.
Yes.
That is such a bitch comment. I know that he brought up having a big nose, okay, as a self-deprecating thing, but she was like, oh yes, I was really hoping you would bring it up so that we can just take some time off for you to fix that.
It's like when Dane Cook would say that women are mind ninjas. Now it's going to be in the back of his mind forever.
And then they start conversing back and forth about their own relationships with their respective spouses at a certain point, because Blake Lively is insisting that they film this scene with conversation instead of kissing. She says that when she's with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, they can just never stop talking. They're always talking about everything. So that's more romantic than kissing. But Justin Baldoni says, oh, well, when I'm with my wife, we just like stare at each other a lot. We don't do as much talking. You would probably find it terrifying. And this is the point where she gets very defensive about her marriage for, I can't discern why.
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring? You just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally hear each other, and like
I
time,
found a sociopath.
and like, time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
And they score again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
No, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that the weirdest interaction you've ever seen?
Like I say, being...
He was trying to be complimentary. He says, oh, you and Ryan Reynolds are so cute together.
It's
And
more
she's
than
like,
cute.
it's more than cute, okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I mean, it's amazing. You guys are amazing together.
I'm telling you, like, being an actor, they don't get enough credit to pull off making something look real when it's actually the complete opposite in person.
If anything, I wish that all of this drama came about before the movie was released, because then I would have had a ball just trying to detect the moments where they palpably hate each other on camera. Yeah. But, you know, obviously, these clips are not showing Justin Baldoni being a disgusting Harvey Weinstein creep on Blake Lively. He's doing things that are entirely called for in the scene that they were shooting. But Blake Lively's team is doubling down. They claim that every frame of the footage you just watched actually corroborates Blake Lively's allegations against Justin.
They don't, at least not that I saw.
Yeah, here was their statement from Blake Lively's lawyers. Justin Baldoni and his lawyer may hope that this latest stunt will get ahead of the damaging evidence against him, but the video itself is damning. The video shows Justin Baldoni repeatedly leaning in toward Blake Lively, attempting to kiss her, kissing her forehead, rubbing his face and mouth against her neck, flicking her lip with his thumb, caressing her, telling her how good she smells, and talking with her out of character.
Yeah.
There were no lines. There was no dialogue. So they were not talking in character. Every moment of this was improvised by Justin Baldoni with no discussion or consent in advance and no intimacy coordinator present. Yes, we would need an intimacy coordinator for a fully clothed, slow dancing scene. Mr. Baldoni was
You could make the argument that if he's putting his face on the side of her face, if you want to be real litigious about it, that somebody, obviously not her, because I don't think it lines up with her past behavior, but say like somebody who's maybe perhaps like a Gen Z actress who feels real HR heavy, right?
Okay.
Wouldn't want to do it without it, but...
Maybe. But I'm just saying, I watched Gossip Girl. That's what people know Blake Lively for.
Yeah.
And the makeout scenes in Gossip Girl that she did were way steamier than anything I just saw. And there were no intimacy coordinators back in 2006.
It's like when I was talking about Roswell, I'm like, why are they all just constantly making out? Can they stop this, please?
There were no intimacy coordinators to stop it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It actually reminds me of who was it in, I forget the actor's name, but with Alicia Cuthbert in The Girl Next Door. And there's this scene where they're both listening to music like on headphones, I guess theoretically with like a headphone splitter on the same
The wired headphones, you mean.
And the director was talking about how he tried to tell the actors, like, okay, I just want you to like lay on the floor and look at each other. And you're just like looking very pointedly at each other. And in the movie, it's quite wholesome because it seems like they can't stop looking at each other, which is kind of what he's describing with his wife. And both the actors are like, I don't get it. They're like, I don't get it. Like,
well, it doesn't really matter if they get it, though.
That's what I'm saying, but that's the point of the director, right? The director's job is to coax you through the scene and help you figure out what it's supposed to look like when once you've got it done, it goes through editing. And that scene that I'm talking about here was in a montage with a song playing over it, so there wouldn't be any dialogue anyways.
Yeah, regardless of any of the allegations, this does show the intense... It kind of shows why they came to such creative differences, right? Yeah. And why Blake Lively was being such a control freak on set, despite the fact that she wasn't the director. Justin Baldoni starred and directed this movie. So it ultimately came down to his decision how he wanted the characters to interact in that sequence. But she was trying to fight him on it the entire time. Yeah. So, and it was not her place to do so.
Emil Hirsch, thank you, is the actor from that movie. I always get him and a couple of other actors mixed up. But yeah, when you're the director and the actor, not everybody can be Mel Gibson or Ben Affleck or Kevin Costner. You know?
Well, he's not
Clint
on their
Eastwood.
level, so she probably thought this is like this nobody, no-name director who I can just push around and walk all over on set.
She's not pushing Mel Gibson around. She's not pushing Clint Eastwood around. Yeah.
Yeah, you can clearly see at the very least that Blake Lively is terrible at taking direction, and she was trying to steamroll his directing decisions the entire time. But her lawyer's statement continued saying, Justin Baldoni was not only Blake Lively's co-star, but the director, the head of studio, and her boss. The video shows Blake Lively leaning away and repeatedly asking for the characters to just talk. Any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize her discomfort. They will recognize her attempts at levity to try to deflect the unwanted touching. No woman would have... They say no woman should have to take defensive measures to avoid being touched by their employer without their consent.
So is the idea here that a scene that from the beginning called for slow dancing was something she was trying to get out of? Is that what I'm supposed to take from this? Was the idea that they should be dancing like a foot apart?
I guess they needed to leave room for Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't leave enough room for Jesus.
They needed a Jesus barrier.
They needed the same chaperones that were all at all of my private Christian school dances to film this scene.
There you go.
Clearly.
They should have hired them.
The Hollywood intimacy coordinators are just not doing their job.
No.
The statement concludes that releasing It Ends With Us footage to the media is another example of an unethical attempt to manipulate the public. It is the continuation of their harassment and retaliatory campaign. While they're focused on misleading media narratives, we are focused on the legal process. We're continuing our efforts to require Justin Baldoni and his associates to answer in court under oath rather than through manufactured media stunts.
I don't know. I feel like she's lost the upper hand here as far as controlling the narrative.
By far. And
they're looking for a gag order to be put into place against Justin Baldoni and his team right now. His Blake Lively's lawyer is.
Well, it's too late for that. Yep. But they're behaving as if this is a manipulation tactic. Mm-hmm. Showing people the footage and showing people all of their correspondences unedited is anything but manipulative. Yep. That is actually giving people all the information they can to judge it for themselves. Yep. And they happen to sympathize with Justin Baldoni now that they have more information. Justin Baldoni's team say they also have plans to launch a website to bolster his accusations against Blake Lively. Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, released the footage of the two actors on set in an effort to refute some of Lively's claims. His legal team said in a statement that Justin Baldoni and team has nothing to hide, and this once more proves this. But yeah, the effort to launch this website is to show the public all of their correspondences, all of the footage, and everything unedited unadulterated.
I wonder if
not the
there's-
way that Blake Lively showed those text screenshots to the New York Times.
I mean, I wonder if the idea is there was a conversation had after this was shot where she put up some boundaries and said, look, that made me uncomfortable. Then she should be sharing that, right? To prove that what she felt in the moment didn't feel.
Do you think she came off as uncomfortable in the clip?
I mean, to me, when I see something like that, you're dancing with somebody very intimately that's not somebody you're intimate with. So there's a certain amount of discomfort from doing it anyways. I didn't see anything that indicated that. That doesn't mean it's not there. Perhaps she did feel uncomfortable, but I don't think that the majority of the people are going to look at that and see it.
Mm-hmm. Justin Baldoni also claims he has the right to defend himself with the truth.
Yeah.
This is what we'll be continuing to show with the upcoming website containing all correspondence as well as relevant videos that quash her claims. Good for him.
Yep.
Because he had no other choice. He was backed into a corner, and someone much more famous and powerful and rich than him in his industry was capable of ruining him with her claims. He had no other choice than to give this footage to the public. It's not really a stunt. It's just... It was his last resort.
It will probably make the industry more litigious, meaning that there will be intimacy coordinators for dance scenes, not just sex scenes.
Yeah, but doesn't that just mean you should vet the people who are signed on for your movie to make sure they have a good track record with being, as loaded of a term as it is, easy to work with?
Well, I mean, I don't know what her history is.
You know?
I know that he, the show Jane the Virgin, which was one he was on for like 5 seasons or something like that, had a lot of scenes like that. So I imagine that he has more than enough experience with it. But again, I don't know who I didn't see anything there that indicated to me that she was deeply uncomfortable.
She might have been.
She might have
I
been.
don't even think she's lying. I think she's manipulating people with the way that she narrativized it all.
Yeah.
But she definitely seemed like she was uncomfortable to me.
I imagine
she just didn't voice it in the moment.
I see a certain level of discomfort from doing a scene like that in general.
I think she was uncomfortable because obviously these are 2 married people who are filming a scene where they're falling in love. That is uncomfortable and unnatural no matter what. Yeah. That's part of the job, though, as an actor. Yeah. But she also clearly hates him and gets any digs at him that she can when the opportunity arises. So she was uncomfortable, being this physically close with someone that she dislikes. Yeah. And it's not predatory. That just is normal. If you dislike this person that much, it's going to feel uncomfortable to have to do kiss scenes with him. Yep. But that doesn't mean that you're a victim.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.